Giorgio Chiellini and Paulo Dybala's Juventus farewell. Juventus in advanced talks to sign Paul Pogba. Di Maria also in advanced talks with Juve. And the fallout from the final game of the season, Fiorentina versus Juventus. More on this later, stay tuned. Getting into the first news story of the day, of the week. Yes, that's right, Giorgio Chiellini and Paulo Dybala's emotional farewell. And firstly, Giorgio Chiellini, wow, what a career at Juventus, lasting around 17 years at our beloved Juve, I should say. And absolutely astonishing career, if I do say so myself. We will never see the likes of Giorgio Chiellini ever again for Juve. And it is very hard to come across these Italian defenders like a Giorgio Chiellini, like a Paolo Maldini, for example. And it is very rare to come across them. But an absolutely incredible experience and career at Juve for Chiellini. And for even myself and all the other beloved Juve fans, it is very, very sad to see him go. And obviously very, very, very sad to see finally the chapter end with Chiellini and Bonucci. So I end to say with Giorgio Chiellini, grazie mille Giorgio Chiellini, King Giorgio, grazie for everything that you have done for the black and white, for Juventus, and we wish you well in your future endeavours and everything that is to come with your future career and obviously after in your later life. Grazie mille, Giorgio. On to Paulo Dybala. Yes, it was a very, very emotional farewell for him also. And it was very, very sad to see Paulo Dybala leave Juventus. As we know, his contract is expiring in June 30th. And his last game of the season at the Juventus, at the Turin Stadium. And it is very, very sad to see someone of the caliber of Paulo Dybala and how much he has offered to the club. Also, to see him go is very heartbreaking and disheartening. And, we wish Paulo Dybala all the best in his future endeavours also. And grazie, Paulo Dybala. The fallout from the final game of the season, Juventus versus Fiorentina. And it ended in defeat, 2-0 loss. And very, very unfortunate set of circumstances in the sense that a loss at the final game, in the final game of the season, is not the best thing that you would hope for in the final game, but that's what it was. Goals from Nicolas Gonzalez and Duncan secured the win for Fiorentina, but at least this is the final game of the season and we can look ahead now to the next season and obviously to the transfer mercato where a lot of things have been spicing up. So let's get into that. According to reliable sources out of Italy regarding Paul Pogba back to Juventus, that's right, Pogba, hashtag Pogba, and it could be happening. According to Fabrizio Romano, Juventus are planning for new direct contacts with Pogba in the coming days, and it is felt that Pogba is tempted by the Juventus comeback and the Juventus return of Paul Pogba. And this will be very interesting to see if this comes to fruition. Now we know Paul Pogba's time at Manchester United hasn't been what Manchester United fans have hoped for since his transfer back in 2016 when Paul Pogba did transfer to Manchester United. And over the last 6 years he has been there, it hasn't been the best run of events for him, with only him securing a Europa League final trophy with Jose Mourinho back in 2017. And other than that, Manchester United and Pogba haven't really secured anything that very high prestige, if I do say so myself, such as the Premier League or the Champions League. However, if I was Andrea Agnelli and Massimiliano Allegri, I would be very wary of Paul Pogba's recent injuries over the last many years he has been at Manchester United, and the lack of appearances at Manchester United, of course, on field. And this will be very interesting to see if Pogba actually does come back to Juventus. In my personal opinion, nostalgia plays on my head. It says that, my heart says that I would love poor Pogba back at Juventus, but obviously logical thinking comes into play as well with his obviously recent run of injuries, which I have stated. But this will be very telling to see if Pogba does return back to Juventus. I would definitely be very, very happy, but also the logical side of the injuries does come into play. Now, it was reported by Fabrizio Romano about a day ago that Angel Di Maria has left PSG on a free transfer as expected and is now in advanced talks to join Juventus as a free agent. And it appears that Di Maria wants a short-term deal for 1 season with a potential option for a further season. Now, this report got me thinking that obviously in the last few weeks we have had the reports of Di Maria joining Juventus, and now that it has gained a lot of substance throughout the last week or so, it appears that he could be on his way to Turin. And Angel Di Maria is a talent in my opinion, even though he is still at the age of 34, I reckon he could still go. And indeed he can. Di Maria is an absolutely incredible talent, and this will be very, very telling to see if this transfer does end up coming true. And Angel Di Maria to Juventus is definitely a good one. But yes, more on this to follow in the future. And obviously poor Pogba as well. What will happen? Transfer Mercato is heating up as the final game of the season has now ended, and we look ahead to the transfer market. Finoallafine and the Forza JUVE.